Happy Halloween, everybody, and presumably now it's going to be an even happier Halloween because we're going to talk about vampire muscles today. Also, Halloween, like any time of the year, is a great time to check in with your three little devils. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and review episode 2. In the meantime, you may be asking, I hope you're asking, what are vampire muscles? Well, we'll get to that, but first of all, okay, let's get back to business. Remember how in past episodes we've talked about how you should not use smiley embouchure, especially in the low register. Smiley embouchure is very easy to see, even for non-flute players, and you don't want to do that. But you do want to use your vampire muscles. Vampire muscles are a very small motion. We talk a lot about efficiency, and vampire muscles are very efficient. They're also hard to see. So what are vampire muscles? Well, they're small muscles around your mouth that I, as well as a few of my flute teacher friends, call vampire muscles because they're located above your vampire teeth, right here. So when are times that you would use your vampire muscles? One common time is if you're leaping upward. Your vampire muscles help your embouchure to come forward. So if you think of times when you need to be more forward, that's when you want to use your vampire muscles. I'm going to now do some large leaps upward and see if you can see my vampire muscles moving. From a distance, you probably won't be able to, but up close, you'll see what I'm talking about. When I teach, I'm constantly telling students not to pull their lips back into a smiley embouchure, even some quite advanced students, but especially young or new players are very tempted to pull their lips back into a smile. There's actually a good reason for this. It's not that we're crazy. It's because the fact of the matter is your aperture between your lips needs to be smaller in the high register. It needs to be just a little bigger in the low register. It needs to be horizontally bigger, which means that it's more oval shaped. But just remember, you can and should make more of an oval shape between your lips for the low register without pulling back into a smile. I'm going to see if I can show you now up close what happens to my aperture as I get low. I hope you'll see that it becomes more oval, but that the corners in my lips do not pull back. For a so-called fake talent show one year. People saw me with my flute and they said this is supposed to be a fake talent, not a real talent. Then I did this and then they understood. While we never want to think about pulling our lips and our embouchure backward, there are many times times that we do consciously want to think of bringing it forward. That may sound not very scientific or logical, but that's the way it is. We want these corners to be very stable, but it's these little muscles, especially your vampire muscles, that can really help your lips come forward when we want them to. When do we want them to? We mentioned that they need to come forward for the high register. They also need to come forward when we do tapers or soft dynamics. And the reason is that's one of the very most efficient ways we have to make your aperture, the little hole between your lips, smaller. And that's how we control airspeed. We keep the airspeed up as the hole gets smaller. Let me do a taper now. This is a case where most of the flute playing world thinks of coming forward to help make that taper. See if you can see my embouchure gently, efficiently, not in any exaggerated way, coming forward using those little vampire muscles. Now you may be asking, how do I find where these muscles are and know for certain that I'm using them? Luckily, it's not very hard to find them. If you say ooh, this is very favored among flute players as well. Say ooh, it brings your lips forward, and you can find and see that those muscles are coming forward as you say ooh. You can also use the French syllable. A lot of people like to say that, the U, more of an EU combined syllable, U. Either way, it brings these little vampire muscles forward, and you can find them and know to use them when you're playing soft, when you're doing tapers, and when you're leaping into the high register as a very efficient, small muscle way to control those leaps. Now, if you feel you've learned something today or you've enjoyed the video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, happy Halloween. I hope you've learned a few more flute tricks so that you can show your flute friends and your friends in band. Every responsible flute player needs to be able to share flute tricks with their friends. Who's there? Should we let them in?